Hello, and welcome back to another video on the Demon List channel. This month we will cover notable events that happened in the month of November 2020. So without any further ado, here's Cunk with the main story.
After 632 days of Tartarus dominating the #1 spot, on the fateful day, November 3rd of this year, Slaughterhouse took its place once and for all, making it the new top 1. To add salt to the wound, at the time Slaughterhouse was placed, Firework, another level recently verified, was placed at number 2, pushing Tartarus even farther down to the number 3 spot. But it doesn't end there. Chirefet, a level placed at number 3 when Tartarus was still at the top, slowly climbed its way up, first swapping with Sonic Wave Infinity, then swapping with Tartarus, putting it at the number 3 spot, and Tartarus at number 4. These changes leave the Demon List in shambles.
This month, Absolute surprise dropped Mega Hack V7, a new version for his Mega Hack mod pack. It is a free update if you already own Mega Hack V6, but is also purchasable as well. Just like the other versions of the mod pack, it completely overhauls the way we see Geometry Dash by adding new mods, visual and functional. Some of the highlights include a start position switcher, a built-in Demon List roulette generator, show layout mode, completion for one attempt practice mode runs, and an unfocused FPS setter. The amount of quality of life additions that the mods add are not to be underestimated, as they can significantly improve certain aspects of the game. Good work to Absolute for continually supporting this mod pack. The Point to Great Demon List stats viewer has seen a new player with the highest number of list points, being Space UK. He achieved the #1 rank by a long shot, being almost 400 points above the second place player, RG. Though RG has beaten more demons on the entire Demon List, Space UK is taking down a majority of the top levels of the main list at a rapid rate, including the new top 3 of Chirefet, Firework, and Slaughterhouse, the latter of which he verified. This far lead shows just how much of a beast Space UK is at completing the hard levels of the game, so congratulations to him. Finally, the Demon List has announced the Demon List World Cup. This will be a bracketed competition among teams representing countries from all over the world to gather points by advancing or beating select levels from a pool. Registration for the competition has finished, and as of this video being uploaded, the teams for the tourney have been revealed. This is a one-of-a-kind event that will be enjoyable and competitive one as well. Good luck to any teams and players competing, and to the event for its success. This month we haven't seen many upcoming levels, but while the number of levels we got to see is very low, the quality is insanely high as we start off this section with the full level showcase of Limbo. This level has been hyped up to infinity, being advertised as a top 1 level and being entirely memory based. Each part has its own unique type of memory gimmick, and the gameplay is unlike anything we've ever seen in GD. And when it comes to Deco, I don't know where to start since every part is fresh, unique, and plays greatly into Limbo's theme. Bgram is set to verify this beast of a level, so wish them luck. We also saw the full showcase of the Silent Clubstep remake, featuring an impressive roster of creators with some of the biggest names in the creating community, and they really delivered with this project. The level looks phenomenal from start to finish, and is obviously incredibly hyped up due to the fact that it is a remake of one of the most legendary levels in GD that also not only meets the community expectations, but exceeds them by miles. Congrats to the creators on finishing such a big project, and we hope they can get it out relatively soon.
The first release level this month is Freedom 19 by Grenade of Tacos and many more. It is a completely 1.9 styled Freedom 08 remake with very similar, nerfed gameplay, and hosts over 30 talented creators. It was verified by R2, and the victors so far have said it is on the easier side of Extreme Demons, so if it is in your skill range, we recommend you give it a go. The next level that was published in November is Lotus Flower by Starkey the Salad and ZZZ Gecko. Verified by Brian the Burger, this level has very experimental gameplay and deco, with an extremely unique duel idea, never seen before in an Extreme Demon and executed to this length. Many have said it may be the hardest duel ever in an Extreme, and for this reason, the level is expected to place high on the main list. The following level is one that had been anticipated for a very long time, being Lighted Up. Hosted by Hollow and Shadow Boy, and created by TNC, This level stands at a baffling 6 minutes and 11 seconds, being not only one of the longest fully decorated extremes to date, but also holds one of the longest creation times for a level, taking over 4 years to finally be finished and released. Verified by Mix991, this level seems to be a great challenge to anyone with the endurance to complete it. Due to server issues, the level has been split into 2 parts, Radiance and Lightness, so if you're looking to play this masterpiece but cannot run the full version, we recommend you give one of these a go.
We've had a couple of changes to the list team, starting off with Floofle, who joined the team as list helper earlier this month and was later promoted to list moderator. Skizzle and Zippy were also re-promoted to list moderator, so congratulations to them. The list had some very important changes this month, so let's get right into them. To start things off, Ick Attacked was placed at 69. Pushing Devil Vortex to the extended list and Icaros to the legacy list. Just a day later, one of the single largest changes in the history of the list happened, with Slaughterhouse and Firework being placed at the same time at number 1 and 2 respectively, pushing Tartarus out of its number 1 spot after having been there for nearly 2 years. After some time, Truefit was moved up to number 4 and later 3, now placing above Sonic Wave Infinity and Tartarus. In between these two swaps, Relentless was placed at 75, knocking Dark Flare out of the main list, and RGB was placed at 99 immediately after. Next, Arcturus was placed at number 5, pushing Renevin out of the top 10 and Bloodlust out of the top 25. Later, Luxtra was placed at 132 and Jamboree was placed at 88, pushing Dolos and 211 to the legacy list. Cerzia Difficult was placed at 62, pushing Alter Descent to the legacy list. Finally, Chroma 2 was nuked 20 spots down from 122 to 142 due to an update to the level.
This month, we saw a handful of insane level completions, so let's go through them. First off, Space UK became the first victor of the number 2 demon, Firework, after 31,000 attempts. Beating such a difficult level in such a short amount of time is unseen, and we commend Space UK for doing that. Huge GG's to them, and we wish them luck for the future. Next up, we have Arcturus, one of the levels that took part in the crazy raid wave. This month, it had one victor, that being Swooker, completing the level in around 25,000 attempts. We also wanted to mention the first victor, that being Paco, who completed the level in around 17,000 attempts before it was raided. Great work to both players. Truefit is next, and it was beaten by 4 players this month, being Cobra Blitz, Thunder BT, Pocky, and Crisis. Beating a level harder than Tartarus is no easy task, and it's fascinating to see players complete such levels. Amazing work to all of them. Last but not least, we have the Golden. This month, it was beaten by only 1 player, that being Deltex, after 85,000 attempts. Beating the top 7 demons surely is an incredible feat, and it's amazing to see players pull through. Awesome job to Deltex for this achievement.
This month's review is on Make It Drop, a level widely regarded as one of the highest quality entry extremes of recent memory, although, just to screw with me, it was demoted to Insane Demon less than 24 hours ago. Starting with the gameplay, it's probably one of the most important features of the level, with various big gameplay community names behind it. Considering Darami's reputation with previous verifications, the level turned out okay. I mean, it's not Envy, but there are many choke points that he added during the verification. The most notable of these is the build-up ship, initially built by Intel, which is incredibly difficult to navigate, especially at the reverse gravity portal at 20%. Like, Darami literally admitted on stream that his reason behind buffing it was because if he could do it, then everyone could. That being said though, the level absolutely picks up after the inconsistent pre-drop, with the first drop sections, made by FJScope, being very fun to practice, and the visual sync is super impressive too. Alternatively though, I found R2's part, which immediately follows, pretty awkward, and compared to the other drop parts, it definitely felt out of place. But that being said, it didn't bring down the quality of the playing experience in a major way. However, even with an assortment of weird timings, the drop is definitely the most fun part of the level, and a nice break in difficulty from the beginning. The parts following the drop, which were made by Xer, are reliant on click sync to the beat of the song, and I can imagine getting there is very stressful from zero. There are a couple of wacky clicks, such as the red orb after the final ship, but overall it's a very satisfying ending to an incredibly well-made level. The visual sync is nailed throughout the vast majority of parts, and while some have awkward click patterns that don't quite work or match with the visuals, it's certainly one of the best levels of its style. I can't really agree with most people who estimate this to be ACU difficulty due to its pre-drop and a handful of inconsistencies after. However, if this were actually extreme demon difficulty, like it probably should be, I'd say it's pretty close in difficulty to the likes of Unearthed, Necropolis, or Daydream. I would definitely recommend giving this a shot. Now for the decoration. The level focuses on a contrasting green and purple color scheme, and each part approaches the style differently. Some parts, such as Hell Pegasus and Hado X, rely on designs of varying complexity in the block designs to build the atmosphere, while other parts, such as Itami and Matenary, focus on effects, glow, and pulses. The two types of parts actually mix incredibly well together. I can't imagine that this level was easy to decorate, with many odd structuring styles and pretty limited groups, but most seem to manage. One nitpick I could give is how many of the parts just use slightly different shades of color as to clash, and the transitions between sections can often feel kind of jarring. One example of this would be Hell Pegasus. Most of the drop is pretty strong, and some of the highlights for me are the simpler part at 42, made by Gulashelt, or the last drop part, made by Linus02. Both of these parts have a decent amount of movement, contain clean effects and block designs that don't interfere too much with the player, but still remain engaging and fit with the atmosphere that the song and other parts provide. Some of the lowlights for me are Sauzeth's part, which simply hasn't aged as well as the rest of the level, or Sipinti's part. Sipinti's part contains very janky movements and structuring that don't really work with the player's movement at all, along with these reddish pulses that aren't used anywhere else in the level, which clashes with both other parts and the background. The last three parts are, for me, the highlights of the whole level. Zuku's part uses neon colors and glow to create a much more visually appealing effect-based part, and the last two ship parts execute the green and purple contrast super cleanly, with a seamless transition at the dashboard between them. All in all, this level is absolutely deserving of the epic rating it received. The level is incredibly high quality, and while there are still some noticeable flaws with the level's balancing and some design choices, but it's still undeniably one of the best extremes that's been rated on the servers in recent months, with it receiving an 8.8 out of 10 from me. That's all for the Demon review.
This month's player shoutout goes to Snowballerr, currently one of the most skilled yet underrated players. They've completed Kinos, Calculator Core, Kappa, Crimson Planet, Cognition, and Seri Never Clear all in the month of November alone, as well as beating Tartarus as their hardest demon in late October, which we missed in last month's review. Snowballerr only has about 730 subscribers, so be sure to go and support them. The last demon of the month was Damage Control, and the first three players to beat this after the last highlights video were Magmeta, Rampy, and Zildex, so congratulations to them for beating it so quickly after the announcement. December's list demon of the month is RGB, an intriguing, colorful level where the gameplay, decoration, and theme are appealing to nearly all those who've beaten it. As usual, the first three players to beat this after December 1st will be mentioned in the next highlights video, so good luck to anyone willing to try.
And that wraps up this month's highlights video. The writers and voices were Kutsu, Cunk, Yoonsr, CXN, Floofle, Ender, Rocipher, Sub-Zero V, RockHole, and Happy365. The editors were Kutsu, RockHole, Kooper, and LastPrismAlex. Thank you for watching, and sayonara.